everybody, and welcome to another episode of Rise of the Ordning. We hope you are all doing well. If you are with us on Twitch, make sure to snag your bingo card and say hello in chat. And if you are with us on YouTube, hi chat. And if you are with us on YouTube, make sure that you come hang out with us on Twitch Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you are with us on Twitch and you need to disappear for a little bit or want to get caught up on some of the episodes, they are all posted on my YouTube channel, which is at Muse's Mythos. With all of that, we are going to get diving into things. I think I don't have any super pressing announcements other than all of that usual shenanigans. Make sure you're following all the socials linked to the description below and hop in Discord to chit chat, and we may or may not have a surprise this episode. With that being said, let's get into it. Last we left off, the group had parted ways with their longtime friend Nyx and short-time companion Odds after defeating the frost giant Jarl in the north. The two had decided to pursue the evil necromancer Lilith, who was working with the giants, while the rest of the group continued on their planned journey to Simona City for Tizira's birthday, a research stop, and then on to Salston to find the fire giants. After teleporting to the religious city-state and unofficial capital of the world, Ilumelan, known as Simona City, the group spent a few days exploring the area where Tizira, or now revealed to be Iris Vervain, daughter of the High Monis, grew up. You connected with your old friend Villano, who also is part of the Lady Simona's church. You also got to meet Iris's found family, and you managed to make contact with Iris's whatever, it's fine. Revealed to be the Vox's lantern, or her second in command to the highest ranking official in the world. So, after Iris's birthday party, which was really just a glorified get-together of nobles and high-ranking officials rubbing elbows, the three of you and Villano had retired to a gazebo to drink the rest of the night away. Finally, stumbling to bed in the wee hours of the morning and finding your evening's rest after the true party and celebration of Tizira's birthday finished. And in that, this is where we pick up now. And where we pick up is this. Revesai.
Mm-hmm.
You dream.
Oh.
You have been free of these dreams since the last, the demand, and this one cuts through the evening of happiness like a knife. The same black space before you, a ground like obsidian beneath you, reflecting the billows of black smoke. Black velvet curtains that always reminded you of your Manor's music room stage at the edge of your vision, and your reflection looking back at you. Tied. Always tied. In a satin red ribbon wrapped around you in pretty patterns and always across your mouth. Silence. You wait, watching for the familiar flicker from the fog, but this time, she doesn't come quickly. She doesn't come quietly. Her eyes fly open in the darkness, and the flame ignites in the room, spreading around you, burning. You feel yourself burning. You smell yourself burning. You see her screaming, yourself screaming, and yet you hear nothing. She stumbles forward, falling onto you, embracing you as many lovers have, and you burn. Yet you look down frantic, and you see the red ribbon on your heart connecting to her, her hands over it, almost protecting it from the fire. You look down into her ember eyes and see in almost frantic fury a demand. Something pulls from your chest, an energy, your magic. The fire around you begins to blacken, to smoke, and something necrotic fills your nostrils, and you can't see as she burns brighter around you. And then it stops. Silence. She collapses in this space. The first time you have ever seen her tired. The sheet of black hair singed, the sleeves of her silk dress covered in soot. She looks up at you, the burning eyes almost black and sparkless. The red ribbon still connecting you, still clenching your heart. You are not free. Yet something in you wants to comfort her if you can move, but you cannot. Silence. And then her eyes ignite again fully, and all you feel is fury and revenge and pain. You wake, coughing up blood, tasting ash in your mouth, and look down to your bare chest, seeing 2 smoking handprints on your chest, one on either side of the scar. You have 1 level of exhaustion. It is late morning into early afternoon. Zyra.
Fuck was that?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh.
Go ahead.
No, that's it.
Okay.
He's having a freak out. Here's what's happening.
Zyra, you couldn't help but get up and early and explore some of the more forbidden libraries, despite a wee bit of a headache from drinking last night, to find the knowledge that you seek. And the group eventually gathers into the living area next to Iris's room for breakfast, some looking rather worse for the wear. Volano has slipped out in the middle of the night or early morning, you are unsure, but he did just leave a note of goodbye and good luck.
Aww. I will tuck that into one of my pockets and sit down at the table. Alrighty.
The rest of you come in, there's food, there's like a very late brunch, there's tons of coffee and black tea, and you are all there.
I tell that Revesai looks like shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Iris looks very put together at the moment. She has several, like, very neat stacks of paper, and as you walk in, I think you see the calmness of Iris falter for just one moment, and it's to Zyra's eyes for a second. Revesai, are you all right? What happened?
He just very slowly he's like buttoned his shirt all the way up, one more than he usually does, and he just silently sighs and just unbuttons his shirt, and you see the 2 burned handprints on his chest.
Jeez.
Something's wrong. I think I need to go home.
DM, I have a question.
I have an answer.
Do I have access to any parts of Simona City that I know would be incredibly heavily fortified against divination and scry?
Your house?
Oh, where we're currently at?
Yeah, well, absolutely. Your parents would 110% have wards against, like, scrying magic. I feel like they probably did it when you were having a lot of your episodes, especially. Like, they have it warded, especially certain areas of it warded, but after you were having a lot of episodes, it would make sense that they would do the whole house. And you know that there's no magic to necessarily block divination in its entirety in a wide space like this, but there's wards enough that you can't be, like, heard outside of rooms, and that scrying doesn't work, or it's kind of messed with, etc.
Gotcha. In that case, I'm feeling a little bit bolder.
Okay.
Also, I do realize that Comori's never seen Revesai's chest. Comori, you see the 2 burned handprints, and then kind of like not quite in the middle of his chest, a little over onto the left-hand side is this, like, perfect but gnarly scar, like almost surgical.
Like surgical as in like almost like perfect.
Yes, but it's like It's still like a solid scar, like a huge scar.
And actually, go ahead and roll me a. Let's do like
Jeez.
a wisdom. I'll allow a wisdom, like some sort of wisdom check or a perception check, because this is funny.
Oh, for me?
Yes, you. Did you
Oh,
tell
would
to
it help?
Zyra about the surgical scar that you were referencing at any point? I think you showed her.
No, she's seen it before.
Okay.
Yeah. Tazira's seen it before. I don't know if he purposely showed it to her.
Oh, Comori.
Nope. I'm still waking up. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna sit there and look and just go. Look, you know I'm not one to
burned
keep shame, but like I
handprints.
have questions.
Hi. He laughs unhumorously. My patron paid me a visit last night. Something's wrong. I've never seen her scared before. Tired. Angry.
Speaking of, I was actually just doing some digging in a related direction, and
He
found
side-eyes you.
not with the mirror, good old-fashioned books, Revesai.
Still side-eyes you.
And from so
Good old
and
fashioned books, you say, when you're digging in knowledge that no one in Ilumelan should have. Sorry, I just have to put that out there. Carry on.
casual activities for her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
normal.
And with that, Iris will actually take out a scroll of paper, and she's been working on a timeline of Illume and Gaia. And first off, she will say, Revesai, by any chance, does the name of the world Gaia mean anything to you?
Does it, DM?
Yes.
Is it where my family's from originally?
Yes.
Yes, that's how... It's the prior world my family was from.
Revesai, you would know, common knowledge. Your family was from there originally. They lived in Illume for 90-ish years, and then came down to Ilumelan with the second colonization.
Yeah, he will say that.
Iris will actually note that on the timeline, very specifically in front of you. When I was researching Gaia, it seems like something went wrong with the magic of the world. Either it got overloaded or a lapse happened, but something happened that essentially turned the planet into a ticking time bomb. It was going to go down one way or another. And of course, there was a pantheon back on Gaia. Many of our gods here have been, for lack of better term, imported. I mean, we all know that. And it seems like there was
I'm gonna pause here for a second. Revesai, Comori, you guys don't know that. That's not common knowledge.
Revesai's just kind of doing the slow nod of like, I'll figure out what I need to freak out about internally later.
Yeah. Carry on. Sorry.
Meanwhile, Komori's just like, I'm no expert, but
What?
we're gonna put a pin in that, I think?
Carry on.
Is that what they
yes.
say? I don't know.
Yeah, Revesai just kind of mutters, yes, imported gods. We all know that. It's like the time knife.
Oh, what?
Don't worry about it. I think my mother made it up to scare me as a child.
Okay, I do need to know about that later. But anyways, going back to what I was researching, there was a split in the gods whenever this happened. Some of them had decided that they were going to try and go to Ilumelan, and some of them were deciding that they would go down with the ship. It turned incredibly messy once the gods who were going to leave actually left. Just making sure I'm reading this correctly. It was about 2/3 of the gods that left, correct?
No, 1/3 that left, 2/3 that stayed.
Gotcha.
Or we're aiming to leave.
Alrighty. And I'll kind of be writing this down as I speak. And as things got worse and as gods left, there was, for lack of better terms, less magical power and less to sustain the ones who were already there. War started breaking out on Gaia. Many of the gods started to crumble eventually, and the people began to curse the gods, hastening their collapse. I know that Vyazna is connected to Illume in some way or another. I don't know if she decided to leave or if she decided to stay, and that's why she's forgotten. But I also
just blink. Hold on. Who?
Remember when I made myself go insane briefly?
You. He
With-
pinches. Did you? Oh, you're so stupid. With love. I say that with lots of love.
Cesar blinks. All right, now you need to elaborate.
Okay. What is my patron's name again?
You don't know.
I don't know.
I thought that he was like, you know the name of my patron? Like, what the fuck?
What? I don't know the name of your patron, Revesai. You haven't told me.
I think that's for a particular reason. I don't know.
Well, what I know in this regard is that there's some sort of connection to Vyazna, and what I'm postulating right now is I don't know which one of them stayed and which one of them left, but I'm pretty sure that's how it ended up.
Awesome. Okay.
And that's also likely the source of many of the off-world architecture that we've seen happening with the giants. It seems that whenever Gaia died, some parts of it were brought here.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm a little lost. That's a lot of information.
I suppose to boil it down into something useful is I am almost entirely certain that we are having the influence of gods or deities or some sort of divinity from Gaia who may have been slumbering but are not anymore, or maybe are but are trying to wake up, and that very, very potentially, actually, that we may have to worry about some potentially giant deity, because if stuff from the old world is around and they're trying to gain power for themselves, and what a deity needs for power is somebody to believe in it as well as a connection to a material plane, the portions of Gaia that have lodged themselves into Ilumelan might act as a point for that.
Okay. It would not be fun to deal with a giant deity. But not god killers here.
As well as potentially at the least one other god, whether it be Vyazna or, and I will nod towards Revesai, somebody is most likely from Gaia. And if that's the case, I would imagine that holding on the believers that they do have, or trying to plant their influence in this plane, would be of utmost importance to them, as to not die or slumber again.
Well, we got that right at least.
I will write that down.
Right, to my knowledge, that's pretty accurate,
Yep.
DM.
Absolutely.
Regardless, I think I need to go home. Which, we're going to Salston anyway, but... He kind of licks his lips. My family's rather reclusive.
I'm very aware.
Careful, it almost sounds like you're stalking me.
In your head, you'll hear, well, hey, let's talk about some golden yeast and prosciutto later.
He just looks at you kind of confused. Huh?
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys doing the mind link thing again? Because
Yeah,
should I go? Should I just go right now? 'Cause,
No.
This feels very
No.
This feels like an A and B conversation I should see myself out of.
No. You're good, Comori. This is still
No, you guys are having the look. And I feel like I'm killing the vibe, so...
No, Comori, I just...
Look, I'm saying you two look like you're ready to jump each other's bones.
No! Gross! Politely. No, thank you. No offense to Zyra. I'm sure you're very lovely, but...
No. Comori?
Yeah.
I can handle that joke when I am not in a place where my mother is also wondering.
Besides,
That's true.
Yeah. Besides, I'm pretty sure I'm not even, to Zyra's type, so...
Indeed.
Sorry, it was feeling awkward.
No,
I'm not good at reading the room, I'm sorry.
No, you're perfectly alright, Comori. How much have you looked into my family, to Zyra?
Do you want the truth?
I'm asking for it, am I not?
I've set up a crow spy ring, and I'm currently continue that across Ilumelan specifically so that I can get an eye on your family's land.
What do you know?
I will. Okay, I'm gonna look at Comori. Okay, you're in this now too. And I like to imagine I just go to one of the walls of my kitchen. One of them rolls back. You'd think there'd be room for dishes or something. No, it's a chalkboard.
Yes.
And Iris starts sticking up papers from the Great Revesai conspiracy that she has been working on, showing the
What the fuck?
Revesai's just sitting there. He looks half horrified and half impressed.
I'm gonna need more coffee if I'm gonna delve into this.
If it makes you feel better, I'm fully unaware of this. I assumed she would, like, trickle in ideas or thoughts, but, I assumed that the, giant threat took priority.
I've been working on this in the background.
Oh,
so it's a hobby.
How is this? Why am I your hobby?
You won't
I
tell
can't
me.
answer all those questions.
Hobby.
God, I feel like an interesting bug that you've pinned down on a board.
You were into that.
I'm not into that. Live play is not something I enjoy, thank you very much.
Yeah, tell that to your patron there, bud.
No, he actually gets a really dark look of like that's like not in that sort of like humorous state. I don't need you to joke about that, actually.
Sorry.
Okay, I'm gonna stop laughing too now. Alrighty.
Anyway.
Gathering.
Do a recap of the Rivenvine conspiracy, please, for everybody and for everybody here who's listening too.
Absolutely. So as this goes, you see different connections. There is as much history as Iris has been able to track down about the family. She's tried her best to track down when they became lords, what the situation was like. There is information on the meeting of lords that they do not go, that them actually going to that is a huge deal, that they were pretty much at the beginning of Illume had a very big control over their land and sold it for, I guess, if I'm understanding correctly, Zari, noble protection.
Yeah.
From there, she starts to go over all of the trade deals throughout the centuries, very specifically tracking these two items that seem to stand out to her. One of which is golden yeast. There is information off to the side, her trying to find all different types of yeast, not finding golden yeast, figuring out that it's some sort of code word, looking at the amount of coinage that is being given for it, comparing it to actual yeast prices, it's way more exorbitant. And then there's also the amount of prosciutto, and the price that's being paid for that. She has all of the instances of where these trade deals have gone on pinned. She also has written testimony of several of the crows written down, mentioning different bodies and piles of viscera that they have seen in the Rivenvine area. And let's see, what else? Am I forgetting anything that you have given me, Zari?
No.
Beautiful. And as she pulls out like these dozens of papers, she will just kind of take one and begin to consolidate. So, sorry, I just saw the from Chrome. That's exactly correct. There is string and everything. So, if I'm gathering this correctly, Revesai, people don't come in or out of your family's estate often, if at all. Their trade deals are very set in stone, and they have one that rhythmically occurs for one item that does not exist and another item that is outrageously overpriced, and there are body parts in the vineyards.
Well,
And your mother has many, many weird objects that you've spoken about. There's some connection to necromancy, especially because when you first met me, you did not know that that was a slightly taboo magic. I don't exactly know where this leads, but I would reckon to bet that maybe investing in a potion of resistance of necrotic might be good.
what do you think my family is?
I'm going to be entirely honest. I think your family is the only thing keeping a dead god from Gaia alive. I don't think they're vampires, because I feel like I feel like you'd have more thralls if that was the case, and also I can't imagine that you'd be that wasteful with the body parts. But I think your family is a cult keeping a dead god alive and clinging to existence. And if I had to really bet, I would bet that the heart that beats inside of you might even be from the original Gaian planet.
Zara. I'd be impressed if I wasn't so damn scared. You know I can't confirm any of this, right?
I know you can't. That's why I've been finding my own information. I'm just trusting you to keep us safe when we're there, okay?
He looks at you surprised. That's... still want to be my friend?
I'm going to be entirely real with you. And she's going to sit down at the table between you and Comori. When I talked to Vyazna, I asked if I should be wary of trusting any of you. You very specifically, Revesai. And the answer that I got was that I can trust you, but that the forces around you might lead you into harm and might lead us into harm as well. Now, I don't trust you because some goddess told me to trust you. I trust you because there have been a million times in which letting me die could have happened and could have been quite easy, and it would have protected you. It would have kept you from harm, and you know that unequivocally. And you haven't done that. You've looked out for us, even when it hurts you.
Well, I mean, there's no use in either of your deaths, so... He looks like he's desperate, like those shreds of those masks he pulls up, those walls he pulls up, the words he often uses to like redirect conversations and get away from uncomfortable conversations. It looks like he keeps desperately like trying to use those, and it's just not like he doesn't even have the heart for it.
And I'm going to double down, actually, on that. And I see that in Revesai, and I'm going to look him straight in his eyes. Revesai, a couple months before I left to try and go to the guild, my mind was in shreds. It was god-awful, and I stood right there, and she will point to one of the windows that overlooks the grounds. And I stood out one night, and I considered the possibility that if my mind would stay like that forever, and I'd be useless forever, would it be better just to cut things short and not suffer? And in that moment, I heard laughter, and I felt warmth and certainty. And I don't know how to describe it when your body begs you to live and promises you that there will be good moments, and that there will be friends, and that there will be people who understand you. But I had it then, and I've seen some of the moments that I was promised from then. I chose, I guess, to prolong suffering just for the bits of good that there are. There's a lot of shit in this world, Revesai. There's a lot of pain, there's suffering, there's darkness, there's people that will use us and who do not care about us as individuals. But there is warmth, and there is laughter, and there are friends who understand you. And you all have given me so much, right? And I see that same hunger in you, Revesai, the hunger for any shred of, I suppose, warmth and song and celebration. And I think that burns stronger in you than anything else.
Ugh.
That's why I trust you.
Oh. I want to push you both away so badly right now.
I know.
My family's...
Revesai, make a charisma check.
Oh no.
Just to check, just to check.
12.
You can, oh, okay, go ahead.
What is the actual dice roll?
A 5?
I'm going to replace that with a 12, and then I am giving you the wheel action for another 3 added on top of that.
And I think
Alright.
what this is this is to Zyra leaning over. You feel the warmth of her faith in you. You look across, you see Comori. Like, Komori's faith in you. What is that total then? So it's a 12 plus 7, 19, 20, 21.
22.
With a 22, you feel your patron. But she is tired. Something happened. She is resting. You're not confident,
Here.
but you may have a moment of reprieve. If you're willing to chance it.
Do you two promise that before any hatred or disgust comes to your faces, you'll at least let me finish speaking?
Of course.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's what friends do, after all.
I was born for one purpose. To take lives. And then one day, to die. My patron is stuck. And the way she gets out is on a bridge of souls. Every person, everything that has a soul I have killed that is not already claimed goes to her. Not to any afterlife, not to any rest, but to be crammed into a bridge to be stepped on, so she can claw her way out of wherever she is. And that is my duty. That is what has been passed down for many, many generations. Every firstborn son. And then, when a new son is born of the next generation, and is old enough, big enough, pack gets moved on. I know how I die. And he slowly traces that scar on his chest. This is how I die. And I don't want it anymore. Damn it. I don't. Can't even remember anyone's names. Don't even. I'm rambling. Pertinent questions from the two of you? Quick.
I will reach my hand and across and squeeze it. I
quickly pull him in for a hug.
I'm good. After that, then yeah.
I met Nyx, and she was so bright and fierce, and it wasn't worth killing her because she had someone. Her soul was claimed, and so I held on longer than I should have. And then the giants attacked, and then we were pulled into this whirlwind. I think to never listen every day, because the longer I spend time around people, if I don't take their lives, she will guide my hand to do so. My body is not my own. My heart even isn't.
I think you've got plenty of your own heart, Revesai.
No, maybe metaphorically. I am talking literally.
I know. But hey, give me a couple years and a resurrection, we can change.
No, you
I mean,
don't.
she's not lying, but she's right.
You don't understand.
How long do you think you have?
Well, my sister's been courting. And he smiles, like, morosely. I don't know if she's found anyone yet, but... How old was I when the transfer happened, DM? Around, like, 70, right?
Yeah. However, I will say that from what you know of the ritual, it could have happened as soon as you were of age. Your uncle chose to prolong it because of just his argument was getting settled in the new land.
Yes.
So it could happen if your sister had a baby today, it could happen as early as 20 years.
Yeah.
Which for you is like nothing.
All right. Well.
But this heart, this pact, it is the only... Why do you think my family so quickly became lords, Tazira? Why do you think we share and benefit from so much wealth?
Well, I'd imagine that there are some strings being pulled behind the scene.
I've killed a lot of people, you two. I've killed a lot of innocent people. Well, I guess we're just spilling everything right now, aren't we? Damn. I did my best to let them enjoy their last moments. The worst ones are the ones where my mother demanded I bring them home, because I didn't get to choose how they went.
I think that says a lot more about you than I think you give yourself credit for.
They still died, didn't they?
Revesai, I've died at least once already.
That
And
is...
I get it. Not everyone gets second chances, right? But look, we all end up dying one way or another. And yeah, we don't get to choose that.
I cut their lives short. I played with fate. They would have all had long, healthy lives, and I don't even have names to mourn them.
You already said that. You're talking about playing with fate, and yet, literally from everything you've told us, everything's been out of your hands. Because even if you don't do something, something still ends up happening outside of your control. Right? And it ends up one way or another. If anyone needs to do anything, you need to forgive yourself.
There's no forgiveness for someone who still needs to atone.
I suppose the other question is, what good is torturing yourself doing?
It helps me try to make better choices.
We can find a way for that to happen without torturing yourself. And Revesai, I found out about Golden Yeast and Prosciutto. We can find their names.
I always wondered if they got struck from history and memories and minds. I was just ever scared to ask.
Say that one more time.
Because he doesn't fully comprehend, like, her reach, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I don't know if, like, they're erased from people's memories. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, my headphones were cutting out, and I was like, I want to know what you said.
No, you're fine. I mean... You'd think that many people would be suspicious, right? And you know what the worst part is? I'm scared because I think my family might be dead. And I'm saddened by that. We're not good people. I'm not a good person. And yet, I'm still scared that they're gone. And that they died badly and horribly. And there's part of me that tells me it's not fair and they don't deserve it, when damn it, I know they do.
I'm so sorry, Revesai. We'll be quick. And I'll try to figure out what I can on the way, okay?
He looks at you. This isn't something I need you to solve, does that? That's not.
Yeah, I know.
I want to lash out so fucking bad. Ugh. I hate this. I don't like feeling like this.
least one idea that could buy us a little bit of time while Zari researches.
Ugh, what's that, Comori?
Yeah, I can always try and seduce your sister.
Even if she... Just because I am very... The only reason why my family accepts the fact that I am not picky is because of where they ended up. Unfortunately, even if my sister was attracted to women, I don't think she'd ever get past it, you know? It's not what she was born to do.
I'll put a hand on Komori's shoulder and, like, give an overly serious look. We're gonna have to find a disguise self spell.
I mean, honestly, if we just tie my hair back, maybe that'll do something a bit. I already had the one suit. And in all honesty, everyone's parents tend to love me anyway. At least from what I've been gathering.
Well, my father would probably...
Okay, technically one set of parents out of many is different, but still.
No, my father would like you in the same way he would find an animal to dissect interesting. Sorry, I know that's a little terrible to say.
Well, you know what? It's okay. I kind of deserve that for what I said before, so we're...
What you said was actually quite funny and hilarious. I'm just being a bit of a bummer by...
No, I'm talking about the pink thing before that.
Oh, well, how would you possibly know? That upsets me.
I don't know. I'm bad at the context. Look, this isn't about me right now. Anyway.
Oh, also, if we're just doing all of our secrets, here's a funny one. Technically, Nyx is right, and my name is pronounced Revesai.
That's still better than ravioli.
Who the fuck calls me ravioli?
I don't know, in case people who might have trouble reading, I don't know, it beats me.
I like Revesai better, anyway. I don't really care how my name's pronounced.
Oh. Thank you for trusting us, Revesai.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't have said jack shit if you weren't, And again, I say this very, very politely and with lots of love, a stalker and a nosy little woman who doesn't know how to, mind her own business.
I'm good at many things. Minding my own business is not one of them.
No.
I was going to say, I think she got you on that one.
No, like I said, I say it with love.
Well, thank you for not running the moment that you realized that I was going to start pushing and said straight to your face so that I would figure this out.
God, I really want to still, I won't lie.
It's very fair.
Like 180 years of habits.
Oh.
Well, habits die hard. I think that's what they say.
You understand that the only way to end the pact is to take my heart out, right?
I actually have been planning something.
That's horrifying to hear.
That's horrifying to hear.
Is it the black market?
Part of me has been considering, yes, a very high level resurrection spell, because there are some that can regrow body parts, as that is the primary limitation. But there's another thing, a spell that I found whenever I was studying some of my more druidic abilities.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Knife of Fate. And what I can do, Revesai, and now granted, this will be difficult, is that I can bind a creature's fate to one ally. And anything that befalls the first bound creature will instead affect the other. That might
No.
require... No?
No.
All right.
I can't let one of you two die.
I'm not talking about one of us dying.
You said I had to be an ally of mine. There's only two I see.
You really think that I'm that uncreative?
What's your creativity?
Well, if we can somehow bait some sort of charm, that's all I'm saying. Now, I don't know if that's possible. I don't know if that's her MO.
There's still the issue of, my heart needs to be removed. And breaking a pact can kill a person.
Oh my god, Nyx is right. We need a cleric.
I do have... Well, I have given you all the traitorous thoughts. Might as well give you one more. Hey, DM!
Uh-huh.
So... that Revesai would know how to create a heart, and that its value would be less than 120 gold pieces?
Does it say that it can be organic?
It just says one non-magical item of your choice.
Do you consider that an item?
Here's the thing. That would be up to weird magical interpretation bullshit. You don't know. It would probably be a Hail Mary.
The Revesai is going to attempt to create a heart. He's seen lots of them. He knows what they look like. He knows how they'd connect to bits and pieces.
Go ahead and roll me a charisma check and a medicine check.
Oh dear. Oh,
You are emotional. You are emotional, and you kind of do it half-heartedly just to see if you can. And what comes out is, what looks to be like a ceramic heart sculpture.
Mm-hmm. It plops into his hand. I'm not as good with the fleshy bits, apparently.
That actually brings up a very fantastic idea, Revesai. Oh my lordy.
It only lasts, as of right now, it only lasts me for about 4 hours.
Yes, however, if we can get our hands on some essence pearls, we might be able to soup that up and make an actual heart.
I don't know if I can ever make it permanent.
good with an
Big-
essence pearl.
Revesai, you know when I went insane, right?
Yes.
The spell that I used, or that more so Tobias used, was not meant to be used in the manner that we used it. It was not supposed to be able to contact a very specific god. It was supposed to contact another plane at best. Have you ever used an essence pearl?
No, I've heard of them. I think would my mother have like had one at some point, or at least a
Definitely. Yeah. Actually, I feel like she had I feel like your dad actually had a stage where he went through trying to like get essence pearls to work, and you remember a lot of frustration that he just had shit luck that it was not working for him every time he needed a high enough powered one, and every time he drew one it was not high enough powered. And he cursed the gods and kind of gave up on that idea.
On a shelf.
You're not sure. Your mom probably would have used them for party tricks or sold them. That was years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. They're pretty luck based, but
They can be luck based, absolutely, but
do any of us know the cleric who's powerful enough to reform a heart? Because even if it's temporary. This is crazy, by the way. I just need to express to you how fucking crazy that we're talking about this.
Yes.
I'm not going to be able to pretty soon, by the way. The only reason why I can is something horrible happened and my patron had to do something and now she is sleeping.
Yes, I assumed.
I mean,
Also-
that's kind of good for you, though.
Yes. She can't... Speaking of which, she technically can read all of my thoughts, but I'm able to shield a little bit.
Got it.
Revesai, a thought comes through your head. If something bad happened, she can't kill you in retaliation.
Or it's more accurate, she could, but she'd fuck herself, right?
Yeah. So even if you had traitorous thoughts right now, if what you suspect is true, but that's a gamble.
That is a gamble. But more importantly, you see Revesai do a sign that just simply says imposter.
Hmm.
And then he says, if you ever suspect it's not me talking to you, do that to me. And if I don't repeat it,
Understood.
and then he's gonna make sure that Comori knows how to do it.
Yeah.
Easy enough.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of, Revesai, Comori, we're your new sign language tutors over the next travel.
All right, fair, because I feel like I'm probably going to need it.
Well, I suppose, I will try to dream very hard about a high-level cleric.
I mean, the other thing. I could always go back to Thea.
That is also true. I think combo might end up being what we need here.
Because it's not like Kira needs a heart, so... You know he doesn't breathe, right? Did you
Oh.
did you both notice that?
Yeah, I noticed that
what?
his chest wasn't moving.
Yeah, he doesn't breathe. There's no heartbeat. I can usually hear that kind of stuff.
Oh, that's
I don't
Yeah.
like you here.
huh.
it, you, for someone so cheerful, it's a little fucking creepy. I won't lie.
Yeah.
The meta of Revesai, which is Sly saying this about Sly's past character.
Honestly, yeah.
I love it.
Okay. Are there any other questions, thoughts, opinions? I feel like the two of you should both be a lot more angry with me for murdering a lot of people, and I do mean I stopped counting after 300.
I mean, look, I get where your head's probably at, but at the same time, in a lot of ways, you really haven't had a lot of choice, Revesai. And it's hard to blame someone when they're being forced against their will.
I mean, I
Sorry, you
did have a choice. And he's looking at both of you kind of a little dangerously.
I'm just gonna kind of like deadpan and look at Revesai. Revesai, I'm a divination specialist. One of the first lessons that they give you in ethical divination is that any choice that you make can and will end with other people dying. No matter what you do, it's always a trolley problem. So,
No, the answer is I. I'm trying to be a little subtle about it because it's a little awkward to fucking talk about it. I could have killed myself.
yeah, you could have.
Yeah.
I thought about it after her. But in the end, I am a coward at heart. That's a little joke that you guys get to be in on now.
Oh, god damn it.
Well, I'm glad that you didn't, Revesai. And
Yeah, now we get to go figure out what the fuck happened with my family, and if nothing, because something definitely did go wrong, because I mean I'm currently admitting to that my family is evil and that I've been evil, and really the only thing we do with evil is we kill it.
well, to be fair, we've released like 3 white dragons onto the world, so
To be fair, we technically released 7. There were 5 eggs.
8 actually.
I thought there was only 5.
No, there was the one at the worm cave as well, remember?
Oh, right.
So it's a little bit dicey, but yes. Otherwise, question, how much money do I need to go ask my parents for my allowance? Do we need to buy anything?
I don't know. Fuck if I know.
Right, I'm gonna tell them that I gave all my other previous money to homeless people in Nazo and go get us another 1,000 gold.
I mean, the answer is you could just hand all the gold to Comori and then you wouldn't be lying.
Technically, I am homeless.
Sorry.
Wait.
No offense, you are homeless.
By letter
Allegedly.
by letter of the law, you are homeless. And what does Iris' father care? Sorry, Iris's father care about?
Letter of the law. I will put my coin purse into Comori.
Okay.
So much money.
Easy enough. You put your coin purse in Komori's hand. I'm not gonna lie, 1,000 gold from your parents? Easy.
Nothing. By
I
the
was
way,
like, I'm just gonna go spend it on altruism again. Anyways, toodles.
Your mother will ask, oh, I know that you wanted teleportation to Salston. Currently our teleportation circles only connect with Bixton. When would you like that arranged?
I am going to telepathy across the courtyard as I lock eyes with Rossi through the window.
Sure.
I'm
Rossi,
gonna sign at you 2 days.
2 days.
Okay.
Rossi needs some time.
Valid. Okay, so with that, your teleportation circle is set up. You can spend some time going shopping. And you can let me know what you would like to purchase. Most of it's easy enough. This is a very large town. Is there anything?
Rossi would like to buy some more potions of healing because he's very scared.
Just ask Comori. Comori has a bazillion. Comori has
I
all
have
of
6
them.
right now.
Why? Why is my party hoarding potions?
I do
Because
not have that many.
No, I have 6. I just bought some and I want more because I'm scared.
I only
Okay.
have 4 potions of healing, to be fair.
At least
Also-
you know you're doing a good job scaring your players in combat when they hoard potions of healing. Potions of healing anonymous.
The only thing.
Excuse me, I'm a dragon, and I collect potions for my horde of troves and treasures.
The only
Why?
thing is at some point I do give Iris's parents a pound of incredibly nice tea as a thank you.
Okay.
It's the incredibly fine tea I bought for the bet.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm only giving half of it away.
Okay.
So there's that. And then Revesai looks like he desperately wants to do more useless shopping, but that doesn't need to be discussed right now.
Okay. We will do off-screen useless shopping, as well as you guys can confirm. This is a huge city that has a huge trade hub. You can essentially purchase anything that you have gold to purchase.
Yes.
So we will do shopping off-screen because I personally don't like doing shopping on screen unless it's intentional.
One,
Same.
Go ahead, Tazira.
because I have 2 items in particular that you might actually find.
Intentional. Okay.
Yeah. 1, how much would a bag of holding cost me?
They're uncommon.
Mm.
Hold on one moment. Give me a second. I'm pulling up my information. You want another bag of holding?
Yes.
Why? That,
You're gonna find-
that increases the chance of black hole implosions.
That's the point.
I don't like
Yeah.
this. Okay, so with are you slinging your title around for discounts?
I'm not slinging my title around, but I am walking in my full religious gear and very obviously Iris Vervain, daughter of the High Monus.
Okay, 200 gold.
Beautiful. I will walk out of the store, dump all of my flasks of acid into there.
Oh no, it's just a bag of holding full of flasks of acid.
Don't worry about it, DM. Don't worry about it, DM. So here's a question. I do have a particular magic item that
Okay.
I was hoping to potentially find. It is the Staff of Healing. It's a rare item.
Pause for the cause.
It allows me to cast Cure Wounds up to Lesser Restoration and Mass Cure Wounds for
And
free. And I
you
feel like
can use it. You are a bard.
can.
Okay. Are you asking for assistance?
What do you mean by that?
Are you asking for Iris to go with you?
Yes, I want discounts.
Okay, roll me 2d10.
Will you also let me roll a persuasion check?
Yep, and I'll subtract what I was going to. Oh my
In
gosh.
this situation, I am flinging my name around a little bit, but I'm doing it in such a way of where I'm like, I'm a high titled person who's bringing their guest along, and I want to show how nice this store is because this is one of my favorite stores to Revesai.
Revasi's dressed so nicely, and oh wow, I've yet to be to a store so lovely. They're usually so quaint. You know, I'm 100% hamming it up too.
Okay. Very.
Hey, damn, I rolled a 31%.
I know. I'm aware. Very steep markdown. This is a beautiful staff of healing, and they are willing to sell it to you. Normally, it's about 6,000 gold pieces, and they're willing to give it to you for 2,000.
Okay.
Because they assume that Iris is going to be healing the poor with it.
Okay. I currently have, this is the question I have for the party. I don't have that much gold.
1,000.
You said you have 1,000?
Yeah, I'll put 1,000 in the pot for that.
Sweet. I feel like this is very useful. I will subtract 50 from my platinum and 500 from my gold pieces. And then I will add that. Thank you, DM.
You're welcome.
Hey guys, I have a staff of healing.
Buying magic items is frightfully expensive in this world. However, you guys have a metric crap ton of money. So.
The only thing I want to note is that when Revesai goes to attune to it, he goes, "Shit, I forgot I was full up. Don't freak out about this." And then he is going to dig into the skin behind his ear and slowly pull out an earworm and unattune to the earworm.
Oh.
And he's gonna drop that. He's gonna very casually just drop it into a little jar that has holes on the top. So he's clearly done this before. Close it and then stick it in his pack.
Okay.
I won't be able to detect thoughts for a while now.
Okay. Cool.
Why are you both staring at me like that?
I love that they're creeped out by that.
Where the fuck did that come from?
My mother?
It's even worse!
How is that worse? It's a magic item. He's gonna scratch where a little blood's coming down from under his ear. I obsessively understand how my family is now.
Yes, I do, and I really hope that your mother is okay so that I can give her dirty looks in my brain.
To be fair, she offered it to me. I didn't have to take it.
Okay, you're very lucky we're in public.
No, I'm assuming we're like at your house. He wouldn't have done that in public.
Oh, I got one more thing to shop for.
Oh, sweet. I was just saying, like, at the end of, like, once we were able to, like... By the way, DM, I would like to sell some gemstones, because I have a whole bunch of gemstones that cost lots of money. Can I sell all of them?
You can sell all of them at face value because of, Iris.
Thank you. That's gonna be adding, 2,100 gold into my inventory. I'm gonna give you 1,000 back to Zyra.
Oh, beautiful, my allowance.
Yeah,
my allowance.
Alrighty. And then the other thing that I just wanted to see if I could buy, would there be anything in town that whenever Iris was on her, what I'm gonna call divination bender, that she would have been trying to use to summon up visions or to make them stronger?
What do you mean by that? Like, magic items?
Yeah, magic items, keys, potions.
I mean, honestly, anything that makes sense. You probably would have been working really hard to get your hands on legend lore things, which you actually have your hands on a legend lore thing now. And I would assume, like, various scribels, and then probably any other things that you think would have worked. So,
Gotcha.
whatever you assume.
Alrighty. And that is all.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, with that, we will do the trinket shopping that I know will happen, as well as potions of healing off screen. And is there any conversations that you wish to have in the 2 days that you are resting, recuperating, shopping, etc.?
I feel like
I
at this
got
point,
nothing.
I'm assuming that at this point he's sensed that she's mostly recovered, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And
cool.
what it is the day that you were exhausted, your exhaustion's gone, by the way. You essentially didn't
Yeah, I
have
figured.
access to your warlock powers, and now they are back.
Huh, good to know.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. The only thing is that he's got a glass jar containing a live goldfish, and he goes, I'm pretty sure this is cursed. Desira, by the way, could I leave this here?
Oh, yes. And actually, over the 2 days, the only major thing that I'm going to do is going to be to identify my birthday present from Volano.
Okay.
And then identify the goldfish.
The goldfish is simply just, there's a curse on it. You're not sure what it is,
It's cursed.
but it's cursed. And then the item from Volano is, hold up, let me just make sure I have the exact name correctly so that you freak out correctly, so that it honors his wishes. Where did it go? There it is. It is, simply known as Mimir.
Wait, wait, is this what I think it is?
It is. It is what you think it is.
One moment, okay. Where is this in the magical item list? I'm cool. I'm so cool and rational and cool and rational and cool and rational and cool and rational. Could you tell the people what it does?
This skull-shaped device is filled with knowledge. As a bonus action, you can toss it in the air, where it floats from you, and you can access the properties. While it is floating, someone can grab it, blah, 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 blah. But, while it's floating, you can use an action to cast legend lore from the device. The device speaks the revealed lore outside. Once it has been used, it cannot be used until the next dawn. It knows very basic, useful information about the planes of existence.
That moment when the dude that you met like 5 months ago gives you a better present than your parents.
So basically par for the course.
Yep. Beautiful. Alrighty.
I will just let someone know, Revesai will just leave the glass jar of goldfish.
You have to fend off Mippet from eating the goldfish for the rest of the 2 days.
He is going to find one of the people who's in charge of cleaning and go, don't put your fingers in, but make sure to feed the goldfish, please, and clean its tank. But don't touch the goldfish. It's cursed. Don't know what it is. Have fun. Thank you much.
The worker lady is so confused.
I will give her 5 gold.
Okay.
to take care of this fish.
This fish will
That I don't think
probably
he'll
die.
ever be back for.
Yeah. Okay. With that, is there anything else that you wish to do?
You just need to tell me how much money I need to remove from my pockets for trinket rolling.
Okay, well, we will do that off stream. And I think with
Sounds great.
that, as you guys are heading on towards the... My brain just froze. That was hilarious. Love that. Love when that happens. I think with that, as you guys are heading on towards the teleportation circle, Iris, you say goodbye to your parents. They give you a very formal goodbye. And it's the same level of goodbye that you received. Your mom does hug you. Your father pats you on your shoulder and tells you to do good in the world. And they nod in acknowledgement to your two compatriots, and then you set off towards the teleportation circle. As you look over Simona City, it is evening as you are heading out. They have arranged like an evening teleportation, and you walk towards where you need to be, looking out over the city, the rows upon rows of houses that extend outwards away from you on this plateau of a huge city. And I think this is where we will take a quick break before we teleport to Salston. See you all shortly. And we are back. So, with this, the group has finished their time in Simona City and we're walking towards their appointment, I guess, where they could teleport to the capital city of Salston, which is Bixton. It is a little bit far away from where you suppose the fire giants are, but it is the only teleportation circle that you have access to, considering the fact that there's tensions with Salston and pretty much everywhere, as well as probably the best place to get information. So a win is a win, I guess. But with this, you head to the familiar kind of Grecian style architecture space that is open to the city with the large pillars and the flowing curtains as you step into the teleportation circle. The very familiar magic taking over you as you wave goodbye to Iris's home. Iris, I have a question. Along the way, I assume that you left your house as Iris. Did you stop at any point to change back to Zyra, or are you assuming you're going to have to be Iris to gain access?
Oh, God.
What is your choice here?
I gotta roll for this. Fuck. Ooh, because here's one thing. She's restless as Iris, and it's showing. Ooh. Yeah, I think she's assuming that for this to go smoothly and to get access, Iris is still the person to be.
Okay.
She is still Iris.
Just making sure, so that I can paint the picture properly. But as you all head there, yes, it's easy enough, especially still as Iris, you don't have to talk to anybody, and your teleportation appointment is honored. You just get kind of like a half-hearted, they have been notified of your arrival, and you will be greeted, and you are swept away in the familiar magic. And as you are, you come to clarity in a very kind of dark room. You see stone all around you. It kind of reminds you of Tobias's room, where it was like a little bit secretive. There was a whole bunch of teleportation circles in it. You see several around the ground next to you. It is lit by torchlight. The torches do give some sort of magical eminence, but they seem to be mainly innate, like normal. Natural, not innate. And there's a couple of knights in full plate armor standing at attention next to the stairs. And standing in front of the stairs, waiting for your arrival, Archie, if you would be willing to describe your character.
Yay!
What you see
Pick up
there
that fucking phone because I called it.
Yes. What you see there waiting for you is a blue-skinned tiefling in a very ornate outfit, almost a mix of a dress and a suit. Long black hair tied up neatly, horns pointing forward, and what appears to be a very ornate cage wrapped around each horn. As she just gently bows her head and greets you. I've been expecting you all. It's very nice to finally meet you. Iris.
I bow back, and I am very unsettled about not being the person to expect somebody.
Or should I call you Zara?
Iris will be fine. You hear in your head.
She looks down the line. Lord Ravenfell.
Ravenfine.
Your character would get that right. That's just Archie not being able to read.
Yes.
Oh, the prediction was true.
Oh, God. The game was rigged from the start.
Okay, sorry, carry on. Lord Rivenvine.
He steps up, gives a very dramatic bow, does the classic takes your hand, brushes his lips on the back of it, and he goes, I'm afraid you have me at a disadvantage. Did you say your name yet? Have you said your name
Nope.
yet? I'm afraid you have me at a disadvantage. Your name is?
That'll wait for now.
Ah. Now that's not very kind, now is it?
I never said I was. As she looks down the line,
Iris makes a face.
Oh no, a little mean, just how Revesai likes him.
Fuck!
Miss Comori.
Oh no, not again.
Miss Comori of the, if I remember correctly, Uthar tribe?
Uthgar barbarians.
Uthgar
Uh,
barbarians.
I don't even know how to necessarily respond to that one. But if it makes you feel better, sure.
Komori, she's doing the I know information about you all that you don't, and I'm withholding information from you in order to keep myself at an advantage and you unsettled and at a disadvantage. Where's the berry
Right.
now?
I'm just saying it's not technically true unless I totally missed something. We've had interactions with them, but it doesn't mean I'm a part of them.
Are you a barbarian?
Just because. Oh, so you assume every barbarian's part of the Uthgar barbarians?
I mean, you've interacted with them and you are a barbarian. Anyway, as you were saying, what other prying information would you like to tell us? And he
What's up?
smiles.
We'll get to you in a second.
Hmm.
She evidently looks down the line again and deliberately walks around all of you. Is the Fallow Princess be joining us later?
No.
Shame.
Yeah.
I am Lady Enna of the Northern Isles. You may follow me.
You say the Northern Isle?
The Northern Isles.
Alright.
Forgive me for my rudeness, but I am not of the practice of following strangers to secondary locations before I know a little bit more than their name.
This is true. It is a really, really easy way to kidnap someone.
I am a hand of Queen Ritala.
Rialta, you're close.
Fuck! Anyway. You're here for an audience, correct?
What'd you say?
You're here for an audience for Queen Rialta?
Yeah?
Then you'll be following me.
Okay.
Did we? This is a sly question. Did we tell people about that?
No.
What the fuck is happening?
Did Volano pull strings and not tell us?
I will most definitely ask. And Iris's book actually is not out on full display, but I feel like Revesai, you know her well enough that if you glance into one of her bags, even though she doesn't have it brazenly out like she does whenever she's to Zyra, there is a pen writing in it right now.
Hell yeah.
Are you writing to Vera? Are you asking, like, right this second? Are you, like, texting under the table?
I am actually gonna text under the table and be like, hey, BT Dubs, there's some lady named Henna that's taking us to the queen. I just want to check that up. We're not getting kidnapped.
You get the message back. It is first of all, it's a very short walk. You're kind of, like, following behind Revesai, like, holding on to the back of him for a quick second. As you're walking, but it's a rather quick walk. But you get a message back just as you hit a pair of double doors, also standed by a flanking set of knights in armor. You just get, I didn't share anything about you or your party. This must be their information.
Wild and concerning. Thank you Very much.
As the doors swing open, and you see a room with a sweeping cathedral ceiling. There's walls made of stone hung in tapestries depicting forests, farmlands, hunting parties, and knights doing very heroic deeds. There are several guards in full plate armor that stand to attention as you walk by. Lady Enna's skirts are sweeping over a very dark purple runner. And at the end of the hall, underneath a very large circular window, are two thrones sitting together. One, with a full crown-like top, is empty, and the other, that has a tiara-like depiction on the top, is full, with a very elegant half-sea elven woman with a matching crown perched on her head. She watches you approach, studying you, her golden and pearl piercings glinting in the evening light, and her velvet dress matches the color of the runner. Enna leads you to the top of the runner right underneath. And Enna, I assume you curtsy and then take your place right behind the queen?
Of course.
Okay. And she nods at you in a greeting, and then she calls out beyond you and just says, "You may leave us." And there is a brief moment where she sits in silence, eyeing each of you. And
Revesai's just gonna mutter underneath his breath, "I didn't even have time to put my nicest suit on."
And the doors close. And she looks at all of you. My name, if you have not heard of me, is Queen Rialta Costa Salston. I am the queen of this country. When I heard that a party of heroes that has been handling some of the giant threats requested access to our teleportation circle, I couldn't turn down the chance to speak with you. It seems our information was correct. And she looks at each of you. Is the Thalorian princess not with you?
Revesai's gonna do a very, very respectful, very, very deep bow. "Pardon me, my queen. No, she had... Fate led her another way for a more pressing matter."
She eyes you very specifically, and like her blue eyes are absolutely piercing.
He's really uncomfy. He's really uncomfy. He's doing a very good job not showing it, though.
Lord Revesai Rivenbine, you have yet to grace my halls. It is nice to finally meet you.
The pleasure is all mine.
It is. And I do need to formally greet, and she actually stands and walks to you, Iris, and puts a hand out.
I will bow first before I take her hand.
And as you take her hand, she shakes yours and bows her head to you as well. I do need to formally greet the daughter of the High Monus.
It is an honor to be in your halls, and thank you very much for the hospitality. I must commend whoever you have on divination, and if you don't have divination, then I must commend your source of information.
She smirks. And I think that, like, it's a little playful. And she just says, I hope that this hospitality is not the first time you will grace my halls, and eventually that the tensions between our two countries will fade enough that I can grace your halls in return.
I would love nothing more.
And all I've heard of you, Miss Comori, is that you are seemingly of the Uthgar barbarian tribe. You must be of a high ranking to be traveling with one such as these. And she turns her eyes to you, Comori, and I feel like you have just been a little in shock this whole time, because as you look at her, it is indeed your friend from childhood.
Fuck.
I'm gonna go give Comori. I'm gonna go hold Komori's hand and give a squeeze.
Is it a theater kid squeeze?
I don't know who theater kid squeezes actually.
Oh,
Oh my god.
a theater.
I don't. I should know what it
A
is.
theater kid squeeze is that like you grab a hand and you squeeze it to give encouragement.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the handhold of I give you encouragement and then I step away. You can do this. That's what it is.
Yeah. Oh no. Okay. No, that's 100% what
I-
I'm doing. I've just never heard it called that before.
Oh, good.
Shockingly.
DM, I have a question.
Mhm.
The one very specific tracker that I think that I could use in this case. It's my it's an anklet, right?
Correct.
I want to like step down, not because if anything, I want to take it off in this case, and I just go, it's kind of complicated.
Oh.
I don't know if this means anything to you.
So you're taking it off and presenting it to her?
Yes.
Yes.
Because I am basically right now I'm essentially still in shock and everything, and it's like it's the only thing I can imagine doing, and there's no good way to explain things because I am just so overwhelmed with emotion, and Tazira and Revesai can both, like, if you could have superhuman hearing, her heart is beating out of her chest.
She takes it from your hand and she looks at it. And she studies it for a moment and she acknowledges the new additions. She turns and she looks back at Enna for a second and she just makes eye contact with you. And then turns back to you, Comori, and says, things change with the passing of time. And yet, our origins still stay the same, do they not?
I would think it's kind
She
of...
hugs you.
I'm so sorry.
Why are you sorry?
Because there's a lot I've forgotten and I don't know why.
She pulls back a little concerned. Okay.
We've been attempting to address it.
All right. What do you remember?
I remember... Well, at first it was really just remembering bits of us as kids and meeting with the giant lady in the ocean and dancing atop her hand. And I remember a dark and stormy night with, I guess, my parents being concerned about things and darkness and essentially also being turned into what you see before you and being lost on the streets, and it was that up until recently, and I heard, I think, your mom or my mom call out our names. And I told them about it, and they... maybe just because of shock or something like that. I didn't believe it was you. I thought it was just maybe, I don't know, a coincidence or something, and that I don't know, and I'm sorry, it's a lot going on all at once right now.
She kind of hugs you again, and she just says, Comori, you were lost to the sea in a storm when you were 7.
What? What?
There was a large storm when we were 7, and you were washed out to sea. We couldn't find you. There's many people missing, and there was many people who perished, but you were one of the casualties.
Oh.
And so when I heard your name surfacing in the north, I wouldn't let myself hope. Especially because your description does not match your description, but...
Yeah. I don't have a lot of the blanks to fill in, but...
No, I understand. I know that we've lived... Zari is doing math. Pause for the cause. Hey, you're about to
This is
find
not
out...
a mad time.
You're about to find out your actual age. I know that we have lived 16 years apart since that day.
Cool. I'm writing that down.
Oh, I'm 23.
Yep.
Revesai just like going up.
God damn it.
He's not saying that, but he's thinking that.
I know we have lived 16 years apart since that day, but I have always cherished you in my heart.
And if anything, just those fragments of memories are the one thing that's kind of kept me going. Because, yeah.
She places a hand on your face for just a moment and smiles at you. I'm sure we have a lot to catch up on. And I'm sure that you have a lot of questions that I can maybe assist in filling in. But,
yeah.
And she kind of,
right now.
She kind of steps away. And Iris, through all of this, with your insane passive insight, you notice that she's holding it together. She is trying to hold it together desperately. But this is emotionally affecting her. Also, what's your passive arcana? What's your arcana bonus?
My arcana bonus is... pause for the cause. Keep pausing for the causing. I might just do better with paper. Come on. Load. +9.
Okay, so with a passive arcana of 19, the only reason you notice this is as she puts a hand up to touch Komori's cheek, you see something glint on her wrist, which is odd because you don't get much of a magical signature from her. She does not seem to have magic on her, like, in general. Like, obviously there's probably some protection wards, but, like, she doesn't have, like, much of a magical signature. But you get a faint notice on her wrist that there's something magically blocking something there, especially as, like, it slips from her sleeve, and you just see burned for a brief second the symbol that you've seen on a lot of Tobias's papers.
Oh.
Oh, no.
She,
That can't be good.
She turns and she goes to, like, sit back down in her throne, and she'll actually, like, put a hand up to you for a second. She sits back down. Oh, you say that one more time?
Yes.
Oh, she just, like, is looking for a squeeze.
Oh, yeah. I'll take a hand real quick.
You are so quiet suddenly. What happened?
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Did you lean away from your mic?
Did you eat your
Man's
mom?
literally said we're so far away.
How about now?
No.
No, you circumnavigated around the microphone.
I'm trying.
180
Louder.
360.
That was better.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah, isn't it?
She was pretty much just, like, looking for a moment of comfort from you.
I'm struggling, help.
Yeah, and then sits back down. Well, I'm sure the rest of you weren't necessarily here for a touching reunion, and I was the one who summoned you.
I mean, no, we were actually very much so hoping for that.
Indeed.
Pardon for the frankness.
She sizes you up.
I don't like that.
And then
Why is
she
size-
and then she stops sizing you up, and she says, well, I believe that there is much to discuss. I assume that, as I've heard very reliable sources tell me, that you are the group that has handled several of the giant problems in the north, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, for the most part.
You freed Rosewick and the surrounding areas in the breadbasket from the hill giants. The stone giants weren't as much of an issue, but they were encroaching on the village of Hearths, and you handled that. And I heard recently, about 2.5 weeks ago, that the frost giants stopped gallivanting around, correct?
Your hearing goes far.
It does.
So far, so good.
I assume you asking for passage into Salston means that you have intentions of handling the fire giants next?
Yes.
Unless you
Hopefully.
were hoping for a touching family reunion, Lord Rivenvine.
Potentially.
I will tell you, if you were looking for a reunion here, your family has not arrived yet for Winter Court. The formal meeting was yesterday, and they did not send their usual letter to prepare their manor.
He isn't gonna be like, hey, queen, I think my family's fucking dead. But he's gonna be like, I have not had contact with them in a while. I presumed I would have to go home regardless. I shall see if they're just merely delayed or not. And I will do my best to send word.
Well,
Any updates.
regardless of your typical gallivanting under non-noble figures in the north, you are unfortunately and fortunately down here in Salston. And I do believe that slinging around your noble name will assist you in this next endeavor.
I was planning on it.
Good. It's always best to use all your resources.
I'm glad I have a mark of approval for it, though. Hey guys, Revesai got told, hey, go ham.
Yep.
Her eyes also fall on you as she is speaking, Iris. She's giving both of you.
Iris will nod.
Well, as I said, the fire giant issue is posing a problem. Our harvest has been very, very light due to the unfortunate issues in Silverthorn. It seems that their camp is somewhere between in the mountains, somewhere between Silverthorn and Rivenvine, mostly in the Silverthorn, we assume. But they have been causing chaos, looking around. They seem to be hunting for something, and we have had to send a lot of resources that way. And she'll actually look at you, Enna, for a second. I'm not sure that this room is clear. Are you comfortable? Do you trust them enough?
I go down the line. Oh, almost a wicked smile growing. I'm sure it'll be fine.
That's not scary at all.
All right, follow me. She stands up from her throne, sweeps around regally, and walks behind the throne. And she actually leans behind a tapestry and presses a button, and the wall slides open.
I feel like my mother would kill to see this.
And she leads you down a hallway that kind of goes for a moment, and then down a stairwell, and it's cold. Are you trying to make any conversation in the walk?
No. Revesai's like, that's my fucking queen. I ain't saying shit.
Comori understands there's a time and place for things at the moment, so she's trying to keep it together herself.
Yeah, Revesai's like, this is my friend's, like, childhood friend, and this is also my queen. And also, I just admitted to my friends, like, 2 days ago, hey, my family's really, really fucking evil, and they're probably gonna have to die, or are already dead. I'm not saying jack shit.
Okay. Well, she leads you through.
Tazira, you weren't saying anything, right? I think Tazira is stepped away from the mic right now.
Oh yeah. I think she stepped away. So she leads you through passageways, and it's kind of winding. It's not a direct path. There's a couple of split offs, but she's very confidently leading you in where you need to go. And you automatically take the rear and close the door behind them and are walking behind them. And she eventually leads you, after about 3 minutes of walking, to a room that kind of opens up, and it almost feels like you're in a cistern of sorts. It does look like there's windows up above the circular room, very high up, that are bring in some light but do not seem to be open. And in the center of the table, in the center of the room, there is a table. And as you look on it briefly, Revesai, roll me a history check.
That's never good.
You are the curse of 12s today.
I don't think you understand. In my home game on Saturday, I rolled fucking 6 elves.
That's crazy.
You're 12 than a 1.
That's crazy. But it looks to be a depiction of a eclipse. And actually, Revesai, I would say you recognize this even with a 12. Way back, way back, session 1 for you, the lady who gave you the wine to drink had papers on it that had that same symbol. And the wine also had that same symbol.
Yes, I have it drawn.
Yep, but that takes up the center of the table. And she slings off a very elaborate cape that she was kind of wearing over her dress, so now she's just wearing like the purple velvet dress. And she kind of chucks it at you, Enna, and I feel like you automatically catch it very quickly. This is very typical behavior.
Of course, catch, prepared, served.
Over to the side, hung properly. And she just says, all right, now here we can talk freely. So, the fire giant issue is a problem, but I also do believe that the, may I call you Revesai?
Yes, yes.
Not Revesai?
My friends call me Revesai. A little bit of a miscommunication, but...
Oh, yes, I've heard that as well. I just wasn't sure what you preferred. So, Revesai, if you recall, Lord Silverthorn and is the ruler of the Silverthorn lands, and he is brothers with Lord Silverhelm, who is ruler of the Silverhelm lands, correct?
Yes.
And the Silverhelm, northern, very militaristic, blah, blah, blah. Comori, you won't remember this, but I'm sure that Iris knows. Do you want me to call you Iris, or would you prefer to go by Tazira?
As I am, please call me Iris.
So it's only in your other clothes. I understand, a persona. So... I believe... Lord Silverhelm has been answering the call. He is pretty much our militaristic training. All of the knights go there. He kind of has a thumb on the extent of our armies, as was a Cold War between the United Nation of Isles and Salston until I married and put a nix to that a couple of years ago. So... However,
Recommendable.
Thank you. However, I believe that Lord Silverhelm is using the fire giant issues as an opportunity to grow in militaristic power and refund things that have been defunded at my behest.
Sounds like him.
So,
Sorry, maybe I shouldn't speak so plainly.
No, you can speak plainly here. It does sound like him. And she, like, stares you down for a second.
Stop staring me down. It's uncomfortable. He's not saying that. That is not something he says.
I know. Well, Enna here has discovered some information that we suspect that our thoughts here are true. However, I cannot bring things to court without secured evidence. So, while I would appreciate you trapezing through Salston and handling the fire giant issue, I also am going to request your assistance in the next day. You see, tomorrow, as the beginning of the winter court festivities, Iris, I'm not sure you know much about the way that the court works here, but winters get very cold, and so during the winter, the lords retreat from their lands and come to the capital to cut deals and rub elbows and blah, blah, blah. Like,
Yes.
yes.
Sorry.
No, don't apologize. It's true. I think it's ridiculous. Why would you not brave the elements with your people? Although I do.
And meanwhile, Comori here is just trying to hide the biggest fucking grin because it's just like, honestly, it makes sense why we're friends.
Now, granted, I do see the merit in subterfuge and making connections. However, there's a time and a place. But my opinions aside, I would love to present the court with evidence that Lord Silverhelm is, for lack of a better term,
Taking advantage of the situation.
Yes, and it would be considered. Oh, Zari's blinking. What is it called? When people do money things that they're not
Treason?
supposed to do.
Embezzlement?
Embezzlement. Thank you. When Zari doesn't remember things. I do believe it is just a wee bit of embezzlement as it is taxpayer money. Now, granted, it is his realm's taxes, but he has also requested additional taxes from Salston in general to help fund the military. And she smiles, and it's like a little intense. So
All right.
there is a formal tomorrow evening, and I would love if you, Revesai, could attend. You don't have to attend court as a lord because you aren't declared the lord, but attend as yourself, and you, Iris, attend as a companion, and you, Comori, can be my long-lost friend, and we can get you in. And because you are, for lack of a better way to say this, not important to the politics of Salston, they're not going to be paying attention to you. And since it is thrown at Lord Silverhelm's manor, I figure it could be a great way to track down some evidence. You would naturally have the assistance of Enna, and I will she gestures behind you.
Speaking of which, Anna, what are your specialities?
I am a face of many people. I am very much a...
I'm sorry, we need you to speak up. I mean, you did great earlier, but I don't know why you're mumbling.
Just get closer to your mic. I'm sorry. I don't know why.
Eat
it was
the
fine.
mic!
It was fine.
Eat the mic!
We
Eat the mic!
we mic tested.
It went, no, fuck your mic testing.
Yeah, apparently.
It's a pain in the ass, crack.
Okay. Just get a little closer. I'll turn everybody down and you up. Although you're at max for me.
How's that?
Oh, say it again.
Oh my god, so much better.
Hello?
Yay!
There we go.
Yay! Don't know why
Yay!
it doesn't work.
Yippee! It just said it doesn't like you.
Okay, say that again. You were saying your face.
I'm a person of many faces. I like to talk with people, negotiate. I'm very much an instinctive person. But I must not speak so freely, especially around the Queen.
Oh. Remember we've had this conversation when we're in not Queen plotting mode. You can drop the pretenses.
Okay.
Righty. Do you use magic at all?
I have limited magic at my disposal.
Are you good at stabbing?
Now, that is not a thing to mention to a lady. Especially after what I've researched about you.
Oh,
Are you good at stabbing with blades?
Does it look like I carry a knife on me?
yes.
Evidently pulling out the
Yeah.
dress a little bit.
I didn't ask if you carried them. I asked if you were good with. Regardless, I'm trying to understand your skills so that when things inevitably potentially go to shit, I know how to best support you.
I am very used to personal interactions, let's just say. Yes, I may carry a blade on me, or 2, or 5.
Or 7.
Okay. 7. Alright.
Oh, that was in character. We also said that.
Amazing. Love it.
But I am very comfortable in a... As she almost intimidatingly gets close to you. Close proximity.
Mhm. That works with me. Good to know.
Why, are you all disappointed by my skill set?
Why would I be disappointed by your skill set? Your skill set is your skill set. How we work around each other and support each other is how we do it, you know what I mean?
I'm just making conversation. I've heard whispers that you've been begging the gods for someone.
I'll be entirely honest with you. I would have loved a cleric, but I will absolutely take somebody who will not keel over from a sneeze.
I feel like you're talking. Anyway, regardless, yes. We would be honored to help you.
Indeed.
I guess
I
so, then.
mean, hey, I'm here. So,
And it turns around to go back to the queen. I guess they'll do.
I had a feeling. To Zyra,
Yes.
how involved with your mentor's shenanigans are you?
And in that moment, the measured expression of Iris will leave. And it is to Zyra's eyebrows once again. I can't say that I was all too deep, but I did ask him a bit about you all. I've heard that you've been working to try and institute guilds in Salston a bit more, since that has been quite difficult.
Well, the rumors about you are true. You are very perceptive.
I will give a smile and bow slightly.
I'm impressed. Did you see that, Edda? She like leans over and smacks your shoulder. She figured it out so fast.
Incredible.
Well, I am assuming that you did not bring that up, just simply to remind me to stare at your beautiful tapestry.
It's a table in this room, but yes. The tapestry vision that you saw of her was not in this room.
Interesting.
But yes, table.
To admire your beautiful mahogany.
Makes it even funnier. No. It is simply a reminder of what is at stake. And that, well, I do have some emotional reason to trust you. And her, like, eyes glance to Comori for just, like, a brief second. My sources have also aligned with my perception of you.
She'll nod. Well, Tobias has done me a great good that I can only hope to pay back throughout my lifetime. And if in any way that both helps you and helps the people of the land, consider my hand behind yours.
Good, so I don't have to threaten him. Perfect. All right then. Well, we have rooms for you here. You are welcome to stay. You are welcome to prepare. And Enya will be keeping watch over you. Sorry, you're on babysitting duty. and tomorrow we will be committing a heist. Well, with that, I have many more things to do and to handle. I think that we should head back out the way we came so the knights don't get confused, and we can get this party on the road.
I will adjust my spell list.
And she
I think I got that pantsuit still.
she grabs her cloak back from you, Enna, and places it back on her shoulders and like sweeps around, and it's like the very dramatic cape sweep. She does it effortlessly and
Cool.
begins going back down the passageways to the throne room.
Gonna like tap my forehead and look at Zyra.
I didn't like that. I will say in his head.
Neither did I. But also, politely, when your queen tells you to do something in a secret room, you do it because your other choice is to kind of just die or get your memory modified.
I'm used to being the person who walks into a room knowing more than I should about other people. I don't like it when that's flipped on me. That's very uncomfortable. Is that what you've been doing this entire time?
Yes, constantly.
Oh, I'm
very
sorry.
good.
I'm very, very good at managing my own stress and handling not being the most knowledgeable person in the room. Besides, she didn't know about Comori,
That is true.
and I'm very, very glad they got to meet.
Indeed.
So as this conversation happens in your head, as you guys are walking back, she does clap her hands together, and the secret door slides close behind you guys, and she just says, well, dinners will be in an hour. You are welcome to dine with us. I'm very excited to introduce you to Bennett. It'll probably be a small affair because I don't want to have to deal. There's a kind of a party happening somewhere that I don't want to deal with. Anna, will you show them to their rooms? They will be in the ones that we talked about that are down the hall from yours. And then will you fetch them in time for dinner? Yes?
Of course, my lady.
Thank you.
Do you perchance have... I don't have any long range magics. Nor do I currently have any do they use like hawks or pigeons to like do, or like any particular birds to do like long distance like communication, you know?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'll just over Revesai. I have a network of crows.
You have a what?
I have a network of crows.
Oh, well, no, I left mine at home, so I am not able to send. I'm asking to borrow it so I can send word to my family.
Oh, yes, we have trained crows, or trained pigeons, not crows, that's you. Trained pigeons that can fly there easily. If you wish to pen a letter, we can handle that and get that taken care of.
Lovely.
Well, I have much to do. Be off with you. And she kind of like shoos you out the door.
Damn, I will be off without me.
And as you are like leaving and walking out the door, she just says, Comori.
Yeah?
And she smiles kind of softly. We'll talk later.
Yeah. And I'll smile just very softly back to her.
And the door slams behind you. The knights step back in, and Enna, you are welcome to lead them to their rooms.
If you would follow me.
Of course. So, Enna.
You're not going to try and throw it at me, are you?
Oh, no, absolutely not. You seem like someone that I could not flirt with while she is doing her professional business, and only someone I could flirt with after about 4 or 5 drinks.
Why
Like a
No,
shopkeep?
Shopkeep?
Well,
Shopkeep?
yeah, you wouldn't flirt with a shopkeep while they're working, would you?
Exactly. Lightly, casually, as part of the, the back and forth of here's my price, the bartering. If the flirting, but that's an acceptable amount of flirting. Anyway, no, I was going to ask, how pleased are you to be having to babysit us? I'm asking how annoyed you're going to be if any of us ask you questions. Or bug you.
Annoyed is not fitting of a lady in waiting, especially one of the High Queen.
I didn't say what you'd be willing to show us. I am asking you your actual preference.
Anyway, down the hole we go.
Alrighty.
Okay.
You are led to very decent chambers. They seem to be like a set of guest rooms that were obviously prepared for or like reserved for a group of people traveling together. So you walk in and there's like a communal living space, and very nice bathing chambers attached to each room, and there are indeed only 3 rooms in there. So it seems that they were either not like they assumed that Nyx would not come.
Or they very, very quickly altered things.
You don't know?
Who
I mean,
knows?
Anna might know.
Yeah.
You'll find the rooms to your liking, and if they're not, please inform me and I'll get someone to fix it for you. They are equipped with the best accommodations money can buy, especially for refined guests such as yourself. Eyeing up Comori.
I mean, I wouldn't think that there's anything I wouldn't like about it. I mean, it. Sorry, it's just that this has been a whole thing and a half. I'm sorry.
Don't apologize.
Indeed, Comori, you are the queen's friend. You can hold your head high.
Politely, you are the least likely of us to get stabbed by Enna.
Indeed.
Now, who says I'll be doing any stabbing?
I didn't say that you would be. I merely stated the likelihood of it.
Look, if anything, what's the adage? It's keep your friends close, but your enemies closer, something like that. I don't know.
Yes, yes.
I don't know. I feel like that because of that and the whole thing, it'd give her more reason to stab me. No offense.
No, that is true. I mean, she would give you at least like 2 days before that might potentially come in closer. You know what I mean?
And besides, this is the High Court. We do not do stabbings willy-nilly. We are people of elegance. We poison our victims.
This is true. You do raise a very valiant point. I do remember, like, 40 years ago, there was someone that got stabbed, but it was like 95% sure it was an accident and it was just 2 drunk men being drunk men.
Yes, a drunk man being drunk men.
Ugh, man.
Oh, stabbings can happen. I do believe it was with a butter knife.
Oh.
That's
What?
the record said.
Nobles get bored.
Yes, that's
That
what
is
the officials record meant anyway. Anyway,
Ugh.
please enjoy your company, and I'll make sure we have some complimentary wine ready for you.
Is it my family's wine? Revesai isn't gonna say that.
just down the hall.
Thank you.
I'm gonna stand there creepily until you all go into the rooms.
I like to imagine Iris just kind of like stands in her doorway for a moment, and because she is Iris, she has a very measured, calm expression, but she's staring back at you with just as much intensity.
There ain't no waver in her face.
There's no waver in Iris's.
Just staring at each other.
They're having a staring contest, Revesai.
They're having a stare. I am watching this,
Guys, please.
and then I'm going to look at Comori and be like, "What the fuck, man? Tazara, do you want to come into my room and we can start discussing any potential ideas for tomorrow?"
It's Iris at the moment, but yes. And I will
I'm aware of how you're dressed.
more time.
Revesai's trying to call Tazira out.
Yes. Man's like, enough of this bullshit. Thank you so much for your hospitality. Ina,
Anna.
excuse me. Have a good rest of your day. Ta-ta! And then he is going to loop his arm around Iris, and he is going to lock her into his bedroom.
If any of you peep out like a second or two after, she's already gone in like an amazing speed. You don't know how.
How the
Woman is
fuck?
speed walking. There's probably secret entrances. Just FYI.
Most definitely.
She's weird, right?
Incredibly.
One?
I both in the intimidating way, but also in the like trying too hard to be intimidating way.
Are you talking about Anna?
Yes.
Yes. And
Yeah.
actually,
But in the same way that we're all kind of weird too.
This is true. You do raise a very important note. I do like it though. It is fun for someone to try to be intimidating towards me. I enjoy it immensely.
Oh, trust me, I
Not-
know.
Not the sexual way. Why do you always assume that it isn't a sexual way?
we didn't say anything, Revesai. You finished.
I hate to say it, but the moment you start trying to defend it like that is kind of what kind of gives it away.
I don't even fucking want sex.
It doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be sex in order for it to be sexual. I think.
That is true. All I'm going to say, Revesai, is I have spent a very long time in university libraries where noise is not allowed, and I have seen many, many nerdy couples be incredibly uncouth and silent.
What is-
Is that because of the silence spell?
No.
No, it's
Then
actually
I have
shockingly,
no idea.
It is just as easy to draw noises as to make someone be quiet, and some people find that extra arousing. Anyway, no, I just, for reasons priorly stated, I'm not really
We're aware.
wanting sex with anyone.
Incredibly understandable.
I mean, look, I can't fault you for that.
Anyway,
I'm the same
ideas,
way.
thoughts, we were just kind of half-assed, half intimidated by my queen to figure out an embezzlement scheme by another noble.
The things that I have currently cooking are I can do this, and I'm going to grab Mippet and then cast a spell, and suddenly the little tressum in my arms begins to lengthen and grow until I am holding a small tabaxi woman in servant's clothes.
could you always do this?
What?
She merps.
That snort is, in fact, a Revesai snort.
Okay. So can't
I was
talk.
con-
Just does the okay, fair.
I was kind of expecting her to talk.
I can still hit you in your balls. I can give us an extra pair of ears with lovely Mippet here. Well as I have speak with animals and speak with plants. So if they have any house plants or have had any talks on their grounds, I can find information that way, but that itself does not leave evidence.
No. Fuck, am I gonna have to seduce somebody? I might have to seduce. I don't want to seduce. Okay.
I mean, at least
Unfortunately,
that's
better
the
you-
primary, and that could be the secondary.
So, DM, what do I remember about him?
How much would you have paid attention?
That's a good question. Because Revesai is a nosy motherfucker,
Mm-hmm.
but he also disassociates. I would say I would say he probably doesn't remember like more important things that's actually happened, but he probably remembers lots of like little funny, like embarrassing moments he's done that his like mother or his father or some of his siblings have said before. Or like, do you get what I'm picking up? Like, would he remember like, oh, they have X amount of servants? No, but would he remember when it was rumored that one of his like he'd remember his children, and he'd remember like oh yeah, two of his servants were caught boinking somewhere, right?
Okay. So you would know, it's common knowledge that the two Silver brothers are brothers.
Yep.
Lord Silverthorn is very much a little dumb. He's very much a creature of tradition. And he is the younger brother.
Okay.
Lord Silverhelm is very intelligent. They had originally split during the colonization. There was a feud between the two brothers, and they have since, over the generations, made peace to an extent, especially in this generation, but you would easily get the sense that this is Silverhelm is kind of plowing over Silverthorn's ways, right? Like a little bit of a puppetry is happening.
Yeah.
Something that you would know is that a lot of the knights and a lot of the mercenaries that Silverhelm employs are there for the money.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's not money...
Okay.
The other thing that you would know is that Lord Silverhelm's eldest son, who's probably 18, maybe in his 20s, is a wee bit of a disaster because he doesn't see his father dying or letting him rule in any way, so he is partying it up.
He is in his college party era, and he is planning on staying there for as long as possible.
That's
Gotcha.
about all you know. You have resources to figure out more information.
Yeah.
But shortly after that, it's like maybe 30 minutes before there is a knock at your door once again. and
Yes?
you are expected for dinner.
Revesai will change into his nicest suit. Oh, sorry. What did you say?
Oh, sorry. I was gonna have our servant open the door, myth it.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry. You, like a good 5 minutes before all this, you all individually get a message going down the line. I'll be coming down to collect you for dinner soon. Please make sure you're dressed, and specifically to you, get rid of that Mythit before I get rid of it.
Oh, offended. I will make my Tressum into a Tressum again, but Mibit is coming with me. If only to sit by my legs.
Mm-hmm.
What type of Mythit is it? Like a fire, dust?
Oh, no. Her name is Mibit. She's a Tressum.
Oh, I thought you meant like a Mythit, like the actual demon
No.
thing.
No.
Mipit like a Tressum, a familiar.
I was thinking the demon. My bad.
No, her name's just Mibit.
No,
She's
that's
just
an
a
arty-
cutie pie.
This is just an arty thing. My bad. Then it would be,
I mean, she still would probably be like, fucking don't bring that shit.
Yeah, don't bring that. This is not a pet's event.
This is a nice dinner.
Yeah, even though, let's face it, some noble bastard's gonna bring their pet.
The noble bastard is Iris.
Iris
Yeah.
is bringing her pet.
As you should.
However, as Anna leads you to the dining room, it is not a noble affair. This is actually a rather small dining room. It looks very intimate. There is bookcases like lining the wall. Iris, you can tell right away that it's like kind of pretty looking bullshit encyclopedias and decor, not like and maps of the world, not like anything super exciting books wise. And a sideboard that's already kind of full of food, and it's a very small table. It looks like it is only set for 6. And after Anna brings you into the room, you guys kind of stand around for a bit. There's like wine available. Revesai, it is a bottle of your family's wine.
Of course it is. Alright.
And it is just the 4 of you in the room for a moment.
Revesai wants to snoop so bad, but he is on his absolute best behavior.
Okay, you get your
Speak for the
wine
rest of us.
if no snooping is had. And after a couple of minutes, the queen sweeps in. She's in an absolutely different dress. This time it is a kind of a deep emerald green, which offsets her blue skin very nicely. And behind her is a very plain looking man. He's very human and is wearing noble clothes, but they are not like embroidered very much at all. And he does not have a crown on his head at all. And you know this to be King Bennett in comfy form.
Yeah, I'm very evidently, making the announcements. Queen Renna, King Emmett, yada yada.
Mm-hmm. And
We
everyone
stand a comfy king.
and everybody takes their seats. The king does sit at the head of the table. Rhea pokes him. He like goes to the head of the table, and then she sits to his side, and then she like gestures for you, Anna, and she just says, "It's just us tonight."
Very well. I'm gonna make sure the doors are closed and everything.
Mm-hmm. And you can all take your seats, and after a couple of minutes, food is brought to you, and it is very delicious, and it reminds you of home, Revesai. And everyone, or Queen Rialta just says, "Well, King Bennett, this is the adventures I was speaking to you of. Everyone, this is my husband, King Bennett." And he just kind of waves for a minute, and then he pulls a book out and begins to read it and eat. He is not going to pay attention to you the entire dinner.
Iris.
I love this man so much. Revesai is a little miffed, but he's also like, that's my fucking king. I ain't saying shit.
Give her a nod.
No? Revesai will make pleasant conversation. He does kind of assume that she's gonna want to ask about, like, hey, what have you guys been doing specifically? You know, like our
Absolutely.
escapades. So Revesai will happily not embellish, but like in a very excitable, detailed way.
Tell the tale.
Oops, sorry.
Tell the tales, allowing Comori and Iris still, or are we to Zari-ing now?
This is still Iris, but silently as you speak, I will actually illustrate the tale and give a map of our travels with minor illusion.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And he's also going to very subtly keep hyping up Comori's particularly awesome moments. But in a very subtle
He's very
way.
confused by this.
DM, am I able to tell when he, exaggerating?
Oh, he's not exaggerating. He's just spending a little extra time. Like
Hyping
he's
it up?
spending a. Yes.
Go ahead and roll me an insight check. New character,
what do you-
first roll.
Woo woo.
Yeah.
Do you want me to roll something, DM?
No.
Maybe he'll. No.
Nope.
Yep. Okay. Cool.
21.
Okay, with a 21, you get that exactly. That it's truthful. Revesai is not embellishing in any way. However, is intentionally hyping up Comori to, paint a picture.
Then I'll stay silent.
Because I'll give this to her. He very clearly is trying to, because he knows Komori's very shy and won't necessarily be like, and this is kind of who I am and what I'm about. And so he's trying to within the stories of what we've been doing, try to help paint a picture for, I keep calling her Rhea in my brain.
You can just say the queen, but Rialta.
The queen. Yes. He's trying to make sure that he's painting a picture of who Comori is to Rialta, because he's 100% certain that that's what she's looking for and hungry for.
Yeah, she's a very engaged listener. She's sipping from her drink, eating her food, she's engaged, she makes you feel very comfortable and seen in your storytelling. And she actually leans over to you, Iris, at one point and goes, "This trick is so amazing. I'm gonna have to get some tips on how you do that, and for the purpose of storytelling. Phenomenal." And compliments you, and she's very genuine about it.
Thank you very much. Absolutely.
And dinner comes to a close. It's very, unless Enna, there's anything specific you're going to be looking for in their tales, but Rialta is simply looking to hear more from them. So unless there's specific questions you would like to ask Enna?
No, not at the minute.
Okay. I will say King Bennett at some point does put his book down and is paying attention to the stories being told. So it seems like you...
Revesai is damn good at it.
Yep. Revesai's very good at it. And dinner begins to wrap up and dessert is kind of finishing. And the queen stands from the table and she just says, Comori, would you be willing to take a walk with me?
Yeah, I'm good for that.
And she begins to like walk towards the door and kind of opens it for you to go through.
Mm-hmm.
And as she does, she turns and she looks back at you for a quick second and she nods in like a please do not follow me way.
I will not.
No, that wasn't to you. That was to Edda.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not following.
Oh.
And the door shuts. The king kind of looks at all of you, looks at Edda.
What's he reading?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, go ahead and roll, and you know what? You don't need to fucking roll. You're looking at a book title. He is reading a book on it is like the science of how they build boats.
Ooh.
Yes, he's the kind of nerd I love.
Like, the full on, and I know this is probably a book that you got him at some point. It's like a very intense breakdown of how to build boats properly.
Probably because he kept asking me questions. Anyway.
Yep.
I love this man so much.
Please forgive my rudeness, King, but please do not hold his silence against him. He is very infatuated with his special interests.
The man autistic.
Entirely get it.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Is there any conversation that you three wish to have?
Oh, I'm waiting because I'm polite, quote unquote.
I mean, Revesai will very happily, with Tazira, make pleasant conversation about, like, hey man, you want an info dump?
What's even funnier is she's Iris right now. She's entirely silent.
The moment
I know! So, Revesai, understanding that, like, she's always quiet as Iris, is like, alright, I am allowing this man to info dump about boats right now to me, because Tazira won't help.
Yep.
And the moment I hear info dump, dread forms on my face.
Iris,
Oh,
also
okay.
looking at that.
Seeing the dread form on your face, Revesai is going to see just how long the king is willing to talk to him about his special interests.
I've heard this conversation several times.
You have heard this conversation several times. Okay, there is info dumping happening to torture Enna specifically. Okay, and we'll let you know what? If you guys are willing to stay a little longer, I think we could have this important conversation quickly.
Sly
Yeah.
does need to go to bed.
You know what? Here's what we'll do. Comori.
Uh-huh.
You guys walk down the hallway. She kind of like leads you, and as she does, what happens is she like gestured for you to go out of the room and closes the door behind you, and then she slips an arm into yours, and like you're just two gals walking down the road, and begins to steer you towards down the halls, and she just says, just wait a couple of moments, prying ears. And you open up eventually and walk into a very large and beautiful garden. It seems to be kind of like in an inner courtyard of the castle. And there's flowers everywhere, and she leads you towards kind of like a back area where there seems to be a pond and a little bit of a waterfall, and it does look like there's some sort of small temple tucked away in a corner with beautiful blue stained glass windows. And it is well into evening. The sun is down and the moon is very high in the sky. And she just kind of sits you down and goes, I don't know who you are now.
Yeah, that's fair.
And
At this point, you can almost say I'm a fragment of someone you used to know.
Mori, I'm a fragment of the girl you used to know too. Not just because you can't fully remember me.
Yeah,
We were children.
people change.
And I'm sure that our situations caused us to learn how to survive in different ways.
For sure.
What's your demeanor in all of this?
I'm trying my best to be calm about stuff. The very least. Like I'm trying to very much take things seriously in this. But I'm trying to focus on her and absorb everything intently. So Komori's definitely being a lot. She's trying to be a bit slower with her approach and things, if that makes sense.
It was nice to hear about your adventures with your friends. And it's amazing because I would have thought that your fate would have been similar to mine. And yet, it's great to see that you got to go out and explore the world, but it doesn't sound like it was easy, and the cost that led there. And she kind of like reaches up and gently touches one of your ears.
I'll lean into it a bit and just... A lot happened. And... I mean, I remember being someplace that wasn't where we called home and being on the streets, but also just there was a group of giants and a necromancer that essentially created me. And I guess in some ways created a bit of the Uthgar barbarians. I don't know fully.
I'm filing that information away for not Rhea to deal with. I am Rhea at this moment. It looks like she was excited about the information, but she's trying to like focus in.
Yeah, I know. I know it's and I've just always felt so far out of my skin with being this person who looked like I was looking at someone else's life. And I didn't even think I would ever get this far. Because I mean, there's no way you expect to find someone who you potentially knew, that you figure with as much time passes, people just learn to heal the wounds and learn to forget because it makes things easier. And I've essentially been having to be the animal I've always felt like, because all I could focus was on survival for a long time.
I understand.
And if it weren't for any of my friends here, I don't know where I would be right now.
She smiles. I understand.
And I just, like I said, in a lot of ways, I wasn't even sure if. And I know this sounds cruel, but I wasn't even sure if I even deserved to be recognized by you again. Considering how long it's been and everything else. And
In everything else, do you mean how your appearance has changed?
in some ways, I've just, with it, I've always felt like essentially a freak. And
She leans over and puts a hand on yours for a moment. I know you don't remember this, but do you know what pantheon I pray to?
do I offhand?
You don't remember that, but you could make a guess. It would be very easy to make a guess, considering the fact that you literally were the United Nation of Isles, United Republic of Isles. Marino, you know, the god of the oceans and tides.
Yeah.
She stands up and she pulls you, and she actually pulls you into the temple. And it is beautiful blue stained glass, and the moonlight comes through this, and it almost looks like there's an ocean across the floor, and echoing through the space above you in the air. And at the end of it, you see a small shrine to Marino. The god Marino, much like the oceans, always shifts their appearance, mood, gender. They are the god of transitions, the god of travel. I know that you are not the girl that I used to. But I still prayed that you were alive. That somewhere you were thriving. I knew that it couldn't be easy. I prayed it was easier than me. Although our situation should not. Just like you are not yourself that I once knew, I am also not the same as you once knew me. The things that I've done to... the things I would have done and have done to survive. And to make sure that our nation survives.
Somehow I get the feeling that me being gone placed a burden on you, didn't it? Was it something that was meant for me?
No. I mean, who's to say we were 7? The arranged marriage that happened was a result of... I'm gonna be honest, it was a result of Salston's stubbornness. But would you have been up for it? Yeah, probably. It probably would have still fell on me, though. I mean, after all, Asui is the second largest nation, so you would have been second choice. But the only other choice, so to speak.
So I'm guessing Asui's where I'm from, isn't it?
Yeah. I lived there with you for a while. I came to study with the governess. I can tell you more about it, but needless to say, this burden would have still been mine to bear. Now, granted, it's less of a burden as I thought it would be.
Fair, but that doesn't mean that doesn't make it a burden's still a burden, no matter how you put it.
And Mori, I'm gonna be honest. Even when you were a child, between the two of us, you were least fit to rule.
Well, if I'm anything like I was back then I think that's entirely fair, because I do not have the smarts for it.
For the daughter of the lords that presided over the Island of Intelligence, yeah.
Oh, you're fucking with me.
No, let me tell you of home. And I think that this is where we'll fade out as you two sit down on a bench in the temple to Marino, and she begins to tell you about where you are from.
Oh.
Oh my goodness! And I think this is where we'll end for the evening.
Revesai has now learned so much about boats.
It's been very tough, the ancient magic or something.
Man's about to build his own boat making business.
Want to
I don't
know?
want to make them. I just want to make boats.
Want to know what's really cute? Costa, the first largest nation in the United Republic of Isles, is all about, guess what?
Boats.
Ship making. They're like the trade capital. However, the protected trade capital. So they're where a lot of the storage is, and they make boats. And then it goes up to the Northern Isles, which is named Osea.
Him being super interested in where his wife comes from. Whoa.
Yeah, it's really cute.
It's very cute.
He doesn't want to be king. He just wants to make boats.
Man just wants to make boats, as he deserves.
We love that for him.
I mean, that's
honestly.
just his focus right now. Who knows what it'll be in a year.
Oh yeah, it's gonna
It's
change.
true.
Oh,
I know, we're gonna have so much fun together.
I've heard several different topics.
I know. This is not the first form. Okay, but I think with that, this is where we will end tonight's session. For those who are on Twitch, thank you for hanging out, and we stick around because we'll chit-chat after for a little bit. And for those who are hanging out on YouTube, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you enjoyed in the comment section down below. How many times you cried during the session, because I've cried 3 times. It's fine.
I've been ready to, honestly.
I know. Poor Kenny's gonna
Like,
go
let's make me
downstairs and cry. And also
if I have the-
Trauma.
I know.
All trauma.
And a special thank you to our new permanent player. Everybody meet Archie. If you have not met Archie before, he is in one of my other mini campaigns on my channel.
He's awesome. We love him.
What was it called? I'm blanking. Tomb.
One of the best.
The Artifact of the Tomb. There we go. That one. But yes, Archie's amazing. A really great fit for this team. If you couldn't tell by the fact that we were bantering already. And I hope that you guys enjoy getting to know Enna and her character. So, thank you, everybody. We appreciate you, and we'll catch you all in the next episode. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.